We need to get this patient inside now. Let's go!
The day the ocean turned against Jessica. It began as a moment of pure magic, sunlight glimmering over blue water, a crowd cheering in excitement, and Jessica Morgan standing proudly beside the majestic Orca she called her best friend. For years, she had trusted Kairo with her life, believing their bond was unbreakable. But in the blink of an eye, that trust was shattered. The cheers turned to screams, and the ocean that once felt alive with beauty became a scene of chaos and fear. No one could believe what they were seeing, the day Jessica's friend turned into her greatest nightmare. The crowd had come for wonder, to see the bond between a woman and the ocean's most powerful creature. Jessica Morgan stood proud beside the massive pool, her reflection dancing on the water's surface. Beside her, Kairo the Orca circled gracefully, his black and white body gleaming under the lights. Cameras flashed, laughter echoed, and everything felt alive, until the air shifted. A sudden stillness crept over the water, as if the sea itself was holding its breath. No one knew that within minutes, this joyful show would turn into one of the most unforgettable tragedies ever witnessed. The show begins. The music swelled as the announcer's voice echoed through the stadium, introducing the ocean's heart, Jessica and Kairo. The crowd rose to their feet, clapping and whistling. Jessica blew her silver whistle, and Kairo responded instantly, leaping into the air with breathtaking grace. A wall of water shimmered around them as sunlight hit the waves just right. It was poetry in motion. Jessica smiled, tossing him a fish and gently patting his sleek head. Everything looked perfect, yet something in Kairo's eyes had changed. His movements were slower, heavier, almost uncertain. Jessica noticed but forced herself to stay calm.
You're a good boy.
"Come on, buddy," she whispered softly. But beneath the surface, Kairo circled differently, faster, tighter. The audience cheered, unaware that nature's calm was about to break, and the show everyone loved was seconds away from turning into a nightmare. The music still echoed when the first scream tore through the crowd. Kairo had vanished beneath the water, and for a moment, everything went silent, until the pool exploded in a surge of foam and fury. Jessica barely had time to react. The Orca rose like a black mountain, his jaws snapping around her leg, dragging her under before anyone could move. Gasps turned into panic, children cried while parents shouted for help. Trainers on the deck threw ropes and buoys, but Kairo thrashed wildly, his massive tail striking the water with thunderous power. Jessica fought to break free, bubbles bursting around her as she struggled to breathe. Her mind flashed with memories, Kairo's gentle eyes, their first swim, the laughter of the crowd. Now, all she saw was darkness. "Kairo," she screamed through the water, her voice muffled, desperate. But he didn't stop. His eyes were wild, filled not with rage, but confusion and fear. Blood mixed with the turquoise water, and the sea that once united them had now turned into a storm of terror. Alarms blared across the park as trainers screamed into their radios. Emergency protocol. Now. The once cheerful stadium had become chaos, spectators running, guards shouting, and red lights flashing across the decks. Kairo continued to thrash, slamming the water as Jessica floated helplessly, her wetsuit torn and her vision fading. Two rescue divers plunged in, shouting over the sirens. "Get her out. Keep him distracted." One fired a sound pulse underwater, the sharp frequency making Kairo hesitate for a split second. That was all they needed. Jessica's limp body was pulled toward the pool's edge just as the rescue helicopter appeared overhead, its blades roaring like thunder. A paramedic descended on a harness, reaching down with trembling hands. "We've got her. Lift." The harness tightened around Jessica, lifting her from the bloody water. Kairo lunged once more, his massive body slamming into the side of the pool, sending a wall of water crashing over everyone. The helicopter swayed violently, but held steady. In seconds, Jessica was in the air, spinning slowly above the chaos, her body broken, her eyes barely open. Below her, Kairo's cries echoed through the stadium, haunting, pained, and desperate. When the helicopter disappeared into the clouds, the stadium fell silent. The water in the pool was still rippling, tinted faintly red under the lights. Spectators stood frozen, unable to process what they had witnessed. Parents held their children close, Others simply stared at the water in disbelief. The show music had long stopped, yet its echo seemed to linger in the air, haunting and hollow. Then came the whispers, the tears, the endless replay of what had just happened. Within minutes, headlines spread across the world. Orca attacks trainer during live show, Jessica Morgan critical. The rescue helicopter landed on the hospital rooftop as doctors and paramedics rushed forward. Jessica was unconscious, her face pale, her body trembling from blood loss and shock. Inside the trauma room, monitors beeped rapidly while nurses worked in silence. Outside, flashing cameras filled the night, news crews, reporters, and fans all waiting for answers. Hours later, Jessica slowly opened her eyes to the dull glow of the hospital lights. Pain coursed through her leg, but her first words weren't about herself. "Is Kairo alive?" she whispered weakly. The doctor hesitated, then nodded softly. "Yes, he's sedated and under care." Tears slipped down Jessica's cheeks. "He didn't mean to hurt me," she said, her voice breaking. Something scared him. The doctor placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. "Rest now. You're safe." But deep down, Jessica knew safety had a new meaning, one she would never see the same way again. Weeks later, investigators released their findings, and what they discovered shocked everyone. During the live show, a hidden malfunction in the underwater sound system had emitted a piercing ultrasonic frequency, one that humans couldn't hear but orcas could feel like knives in their heads. Kairo hadn't attacked out of anger, he had been terrified, in unbearable pain. The revelation changed everything. Reporters flooded the hospital for Jessica's reaction, expecting outrage, but she only shook her head. "He trusted me," she said softly. "And I failed him." Her interview went viral overnight. She didn't blame Kairo, she blamed the system that trapped wild souls for human entertainment. Her words ignited debates across the world, dividing audiences between grief, guilt, and awakening. What started as a tragedy was slowly turning into a moment of truth, one that forced humanity to face its reflection in the eyes of a broken creature. Months passed, and the world slowly moved on, but Jessica never did. She walked again after multiple surgeries, each step reminding her of that day, not with anger, but with sorrow and understanding. Marine Horizon Aquarium was permanently shut down. Kairo, sedated and alone, was transferred to a protected ocean sanctuary where he could finally swim beyond concrete walls. One quiet morning, Jessica visited him. The sea breeze brushed against her face as she stood by the open water pen. Kairo surfaced slowly, his dark eye meeting hers, filled with a strange calm, no anger, no fear, just recognition. Jessica smiled through tears. "It's okay now," she whispered. "You're free." For a long moment, they stayed that way, human and creature, connected by pain, forgiveness, and something deeper than words. Then Kairo dove beneath the waves, disappearing into the vast blue. Jessica watched, her reflection trembling on the water's surface. The ocean, once a place of terror, now felt alive again, silent, endless, and free. And as she turned to leave, she realized that sometimes, love means letting go of what was never ours to keep.